Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Zoomers. This is really, really small.
Well, I didn't know you were going to want to use mine.
No, I appreciate you having it here. Hey, good morning, everybody. Want to kind of go over some stuff. We've got next week is the holiday bake sale. Annually, this has been something that's been a great fundraiser for the for our club. It goes to their club foundation, all the money that we make. And I want to thank the folks that kind of worked with us this year. We've had Dan, Pat, Mike, Tony have all participated with Jana and I on our fellowship committee in organizing this. We're wanting to call out to you guys to help provide, as we usually do, we have all sorts of cool things up here. We're going to have on the tables, for those of you who haven't done this before, there's all sorts of eats and drinks and things that are donated here on the table. And there's essentially two parts of the event next week. We're going to encourage you guys to arrive a little earlier than you usually do. And when I say that, we want you to be here. We like this thing to get going by 7:15 in the morning, because this usually takes a little bit more. This is an event you can bring a significant other to. This is our big holiday party. Let's see. That's okay. No, it's okay.
Do the next slide, Tony. That's today.
Yeah. So we're gonna be setting up here 6 a.m. That morning. Hopefully have some music going. What's that? What time?
I will have to find a way to get us in. I think we can. Yeah.
But people will come through the door. If you have a donated item, you'll give it to one of the, probably Jana and I, and anybody else who wants to help us with that morning. We could always use some extra help. But we're going to assign a ticket value to what you bring. Okay. Now, and while you guys will have some social time, we'll get things set up, and at 7:15 we'll kick off. Now, you're going to be buying tickets. Now, there's kind of 3 different tiers of tickets. There's a $100 ticket. And the $100 ticket gets you, when essentially at the very beginning, you get the preference. You get to go first, and you get to select 2 items, okay? For $50, you get to be in that same group, but you only pick 1 item, okay?
And then champagne.
And that's right. And for those in that $50 or greater group, Dan Robbins, and you usually bring pretty good champagne. It's not cheap champagne. Dan's giving you good champagne. And then essentially anybody else, $10 will get you a ticket. Now you can buy as many of these $10 tickets as you want. And that essentially we'll start calling out the numbers. And in order of what you're called, you get to come up and pick 1. And you get to, if you see a two ticket item that you want, you got to give 2 tickets. Okay. If you want just a one thing, you can give your 1 and kind of go back, and you can go multiple times, but we want everybody to have gone at least once before we let people go through at least a 3rd time. So we'll have things posted on each table, what questions you have. Now, for our Zoomers, 2 things. How you can participate is this. We'd like you to just tell us, who is your designee? Someone who's here at the meeting. Tell me, email me, and I'll have my email out to you, mbrayton64@gmail. You'll email me, tell me who your designee is, and your designee will come and essentially represent you and you can kind of get what you want. What's that? And they probably will drink your champagne. Questions? Now, one of the things we decided we would do this week is to go ahead and do a couple of different auctions. Now, if I may, introduce our Rooster Emeritus, Tom Lakers, to come forward. And to help us, we're going to auction off two items. Mike Morris's annual ham, holiday ham is going to be up, but also the Herman Postma model of Cervasier is going to come up. Do what? Yes.
Tom a minute, while they're working this out. All right, so the way that fellowship and fundraising go together is fellowship puts the fun in fundraising, right? That's why we're involved. Okay, so this year with the Herman Postma bottle of Courvoisier, which has been in circulation how many years? Since 2005. You don't drink the unwrapped bottle there, okay? You simply sign it and bring it back next year. Then this year, we have added a second bottle of Courvoisier for you to drink. So we're expecting the bids to go a little bit higher this year. And then the price that you pay there is that next year, you bring back the Herman Postma bottle and you purchase the bottle to be auctioned next year. All right, so this is a two-part commitment. But you actually get to drink a bottle, so, all right.
Good. Well, we're gonna do the ham first. You stay-at-homers or Zoomers, as you are called. Tony, you're in the chair. Are you gonna be able to help me get a bid from them?
I think we should be able to hear them.
Okay, so I'm. gonna
Testing,
ask
can
for a
you hear
show
me,
of hands first.
Tom?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, who has bought one of the hams? Just a little endorsement, out loud. So the delicious, moist, kosher. Brenda, what would you add? So I don't have to sell this. Now, Mike told me that he spends great time in picking out the ham. So we got to figure out Mike's time to cook it, the fact that this is a Rotary auction, and I don't want to start at $50, so let's see somebody say 55. You can have two questions. Well, I'll tell you what, let's sell one and see if just how joyfully you believe in Rotary. And I don't want to make you start feeling guilty or anything, but somebody, I need a bid. Somebody raise their hand for 55. Okay. 75. The bar's up. I got 80. You put your hand up. So she's up at 80. Tony, who on Zoom's bidding? Look at the screen. Come on, one of you.
The sound will tell you, Tom. They will talk.
I got an 80. I'm waiting for a Zoomer. Okay, group. I guess Zoomers are stay at home. Listen, if you haven't showered yet in Zoom, you ought to bid anyway. Come on. I got 100. Now, the best we ever did is still a little further away. So some of you new guys, you ought to participate. There we go. I got another one. What do you, I was at 130? 125, a fair negotiation. I'll slow down a bit. I'll go in $5 increments. I'm looking for 135. Come on. Some of you guys, you loved it. You just endorsed it. Tony, ask if there's not a Zoomer on there. I cannot believe. Come on, you're being lazy, Zoomers. I heard 145. Huh? I got hearing aids. Really hard to hear you. So, are you at 145? Oh, it's big. It's big, it's juicy, it's delicious. It's Rotary.
127.
No, 130. 130. I got 150. All right, we hit the magic number. Who else wants to be a hammer? Who wants a second hammer for 150? Somebody. Two guys. What do you, I got a second one.
Okay, so he'll do 2.
You'll do 2. We're done, guys.
And he will deliver it to you or whatever you want. You'll work it out.
Okay. All right. I got to start out with this. Karen Bridgman started this, and maybe if I remember way back then, I think that we called the Herman Postma honor roll bottle because she was so proud of Herman that he brought Wanda in and Mary Lou, I think, and who else? And then anyway, since then, the first year, Karen Bridgman was so excited about it, but the bids weren't going very well. She bought it. Fred Berry paid $170 in 06. Can you imagine that? And then Brenda bought it the next year. Brenda, I'll bet you paid close to that. And then Pat joined in, and then Albert Beasley, who's still a member but hasn't been coming during COVID, stepped up. Now it got lost in 12, 13, and 14. It's a very little bottle. It's hard to see some of the signatures. So if anybody here has a history, we'd like to know it. And Charles Crow, Dub Schultz stepped up, then Dean, and then Bonnie, and then Ben. And then we didn't auction it last year. So
what Tom was saying is that we have some missing years, like maybe 4 years in the middle, where we don't have the name. So if you bought that one year, your name is not on this list on the paper, let us know. We might be on the list.
12, 13, and 14 is who we're missing.
It took Albert that long to try to figure out everybody's signature on the bottom.
Yeah. So I want to take just a second because this is a club service day or something like that. And I rank that with the district governor's visit. So I'm going to use up about a minute and tell you a favorite Herman story that I know a lot of you could tell. But it started out this way. Herman came into Willow Ridge one day and he said, the darn squirrels are eating up my redwood on the back of my little greenhouse. And so I convinced him to buy a live trap. And convincing Herman to buy anything was, you had to be a pretty good salesman. And then about a week later, if you knew Wanda, she had people over and we were out, I think at Regas. And Herman started talking about the fact that he'd done research on squirrels and that the female squirrel has a nest and probably has a territory of about 6 trees or about 50 yards. But the male squirrels roam and they have a territory of about 1.5 miles. And he said, as a result, I'm taking them down to the Kroger's parking lot because it's just a hoot to watch them look for a tree. Now, the next thing I know, some of you may or may not know that Pete was a partner in Willow Ridge. Pete comes in one day and usually he'd say, oh, the place looks great. And then, why are you spending all this money? But this time he said, how many of those live traps do you have? And I said, well, we keep 3 or 4 on hand of the small ones. And he says, well, I want you and I to buy one because we live near Herman and we're going to trap squirrels. And I said, why, Pete? And he said, well, yesterday Herman told me that because of that territorial thing, he's wanting to know if they come back. And so he was spraying their squirrels' tails orange. So then Pete and I started trapping squirrels, and I lived 5 walking blocks at that time, but just 100 yards. if you go over the ridge. And Pete lived about 400 yards again, just the way the ridge runs. And I know I did about 3 squirrels a week. Well, 2 things happened. One really funny, Herman came around and started saying, they come back. But the other thing happened is people started writing to Inky, remember Inky in the newspaper, about this, what was going on with squirrels with orange tails. We stopped. Now, let's get in the mood. That guy, excuse me, the one you're going to drink, you can find those if you're lucky at 50, and they go all the way up based on quality to 100. So this year, it's a real value. Then, if you're a Rotarian, history should be important to you. And so I would like for you to think about the honor of having your name on that bottle. It honors every president, it honors Rotary. It's a really mushy thing. Is that your pockets warming up? So the first bid ought to be by somebody I just point at. It's going to be really simple. Dan, would you pay $60 as your first bid? Dan says yes. You're getting a $60 value, and we haven't even started about the honor. From there, who's going to go to 75? 75. Okay, who wants to then run it up to 90? I'll slow it down. I got a 90. All right, now, any Zoomers yet, Tony? Is anybody on Zoom? You keep telling me that. I want somebody to
Yep,
say hi,
yes.
Tom, somebody.
Hi, Tom.
All right, at least we know they're there. All right, Kelly, you laughed. This is a serious subject. You can't laugh. Where were we at? At 900? We're at 100. Tony's at 100. Would you do 105? There we go. Now, I browbeated him into that. Somebody save him. Help me out. Who'll go 150? He'll do 125. All right. I can't sell 2 of those, can I? Okay, we need to go a little higher. 130. Can I get a competition going? Okay, so you're at 135. Okay, anybody else? Okay, I got a 150. 150. Now I'm going to just say, guys, that's really great. Anybody else want to throw something in? I didn't hear it, Brayton. Well, you can have, could I do 2 signatures? Okay. Thought,
One that you can drink is just buy the one and drop them off the
I don't know that. I'm asking, does anybody want to, how about everybody throw 10 bucks in? Would you do that? Would you throw 5 bucks in? Whoever wins that bottle has to bring you over or bring it to a meeting or drink. I don't know. This is an auction. If you stop and think of it, we're only at $450 and that's the whole meeting. There's no rooster. How about 2 people splitting the signature? No, okay. I'm at 150 going. Well, that'd be pretty tough. Yes, but we can't pledge that because I only see 2 of them here. 3 of them. Okay, we'll take that. Going once? 150. 160. Anybody want to beat that? Going once. Emily, your name's about to be there. Going twice. Sold to Emily.